FishEZ. Yes, I can be just briefly tonight covering a couple of different subjects. I wanted to show you how well the mascara barbs are doing. They are indeed looking really nice. They have a tendency to stick together. They love to school together. It's a great sight to see. And of course, when I put some food in here, they love to eat. And when they're hungry, they like it. Hi everyone, this is FishEZ and we're looking at mascara barbs. These are one of the newest additions to the fish room, and so as you can see they are young, growing, and looking nice. Just wanted to bring you an update to that. I will say this about those fish though. If you're watching this on replay, please feel free to leave a comment below so I know you're with us. And there are many I'm finding out all the time that actually watch our program and they don't leave comments or they're not actively participating in the chat, but that's okay. I don't mind. It certainly is nice to have more people come, and I appreciate those who have joined us tonight. Hello there, everyone who's joined: Jeff, Lucas, Robert Lucas, Richard McGrath, Red Laser, of course, and even Sandy Diamond. Look at that. They're fun. You know, I don't have a lot of time sometimes, and yet I always take the time when it comes to your fish. Look at that. The way that they're becoming very friendly. Now, I used to do this when the discus were here, right? And it really calmed them down, and it really made them feel comfortable in their tank. And they're not skittish at all. Sandy Dowdy, how are you? We're just finishing up the feeding here. These guys, they're fun. They're fast and furious. And they are going to be beautiful. I would like to just keep them trained to eat out of my hand. That would be stupendous, because when they get bigger, that would be kind of a sight to see, if you know what I mean. Welcome everyone. This is, and there it goes, the last piece. They're going to have to fight over it. There it goes. They're going to play ball. Chasing it, knocking it around. A little rugby action. Yeah. So that's what we have in mind. May as well get right to the business. This is what I did this afternoon. This is our yearly collection of leaves. These are red oak leaves, freshly fallen in a nice area. These will be used for tanks, and when they rot in tanks, they produce some tannins. They also will definitely lower the pH as they deteriorate, and many fish love to munch on them, as rotting leaves are something good for a lot of plecos. So I gathered 2 bags, and probably one for here and one for the other house, but these are going to be used over a year from now. So I gathered these, I let them dry. I'll open up the bags. I just closed it because I was carrying it, but they'll be open and they'll just like dry here, and they will continue to just continue to be used. Now, let's say, for example, last year's or over here. Let's see, take a look. Actually, last year's are there, and I can start using those. These are from the year before, and I still haven't used them. And they're nice and crispy, very dry. They're also red oak leaves. So these are the ones I'm using. I let them dry for 1 year. So you just have to collect them every year, and you just put them in a bag and mark the year on it, and then work off that bag. That's how it works. So these are handy, and for example, I'll just take a couple. I need to put a couple anyway. This one, that one's got holes in it. That was not a very good one. I probably won't use that one just because I got plenty of others. So here's a couple right here. And what I'm going to do is I'll just put them down here in this pleco tank. You can only see it because the light is always dark. I have it set so that the light is not too bright on these plecos. These are 147s. Alright, let me step over here and get in here, and I'll see, look at the leaves that have rotted in here. There's one right there on the, and so it provides, these guys are got plenty of leaves to munch on, as it were. These are all leopard frog plecos. So I'm gonna just put them in there. These are 2 years old, these leaves. They've been around in the bag 2 years, so they'll float it first for a couple days and then they'll sink. And then when they kind of dissolve, they do make a lot of muck, so I have to clean it out a little bit from time to time. But if I do get some leopard frog babies, what that will do is these deterring leaves will be the first food. The biofilm that forms on these leaves as it decays is what really treats those baby plecos, gets them jump started. Thank you for your thumbs up. Looking over at the tank while I'm down here, the black worms are doing great. I don't know, I haven't put any gravel in here yet, and I haven't decided how to do it. I got a lot of comments about how to do it, and I watched that wonderful Greg Jones video, which for some reason I must have skipped, and I thank you last week for bringing it to my attention. I watched Greg Jones on his video. Of course, I'm a subscriber, I've always been, but it must have passed me up somehow. These guys, I throw in some, as you can see, they swarm on top of the wafers I throw in food. And they seem to be, I don't know, there just seems to be a lot more in there than when I put it in there a couple weeks ago. There's tons of Daphnia growing. It's interesting. Uh-oh, you can't hear me. Did I do something? Let me check my phone. Okay. So you can't hear me. 3, 2, 1, testing. Can anybody hear me? Maybe I have it on mute or something. Turn up the volume. That doesn't help any. Yeah, it looks like my volume is working. Anybody hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? Anyone? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I covered the mic. That's stupid of me. Where is the mic on this thing? I want to check. It must be down below. Okay, that's what happened. So sorry about that. I guess you can hear me now. I must have. Anyways, what I was saying was that the worms look like they're doing really great, and so yeah. So let me put this down here. Okay, just put it in the holder so it's still and everything. And welcome. Hello everyone. And I know it's a Sunday night. It's a Sunday night and I'm exhausted. That happens every weekend. I always try to get to the live stream, but as it happened this week, it just couldn't get around to it. There's so much to do, and then now it's I'm exhausted, ready to wind down the week, start work tomorrow, etc. And that's the way it goes. So we'll see what we can do tonight. I just want to hit a few things. One, I wanted to show you some of the progress from last week, which I did in the worms, and also the mascara barbs, how they're doing. They're looking great. But there's also the McMasterite. So let's take a look at those because they've been in there an extra week now, and there's two things I want to do before I move them on. I have 3 males and 4 females, I believe. And what I really would like to do is to get them separated because pistos or cichlids and young ones at this age, they're starting to really tear into one another. And let me show you how they're doing. They're looking good. So there's a pair right there. Not necessarily made it up, but Joe Costa, hi, how are you? So there's the male, and he may not even be the dominant male in here. I think the dominant male is in the back. Looks like there's another male. I do underneath that green, there's a beautiful female. She's almost gold. She's not washed out at all. That is one fantastic female. But she stays hidden over there. Here she comes, and she's kind of looking. They're looking for food. But look at that color in her. For a female, that's just tremendous. So I need one more treatment. I'm going to give them a deworming treatment, and after that I will go ahead and put them in some tanks, maybe a pair at a time. I'm going to set up some tanks. Each one is going to have lots of hiding spots so that the female will not be harassed too much. Look at the tail on this one. McMaster, the males have red tails. Fish family, welcome. And so it makes it kind of easier to see or spot the males. And the McMaster, the males get a lot larger than the females. That's another thing. These are gold red-shouldered. See if I can focus on him. It's not easy to focus. Oh, I see. The focus point is a little further out. Okay. And in the back, there's several of them. I put this plant in here only because it was a place to provide hiding spots. I didn't want to just throw them in a bare tank. And this is not their final resting spot. Of course, they're probably not ready, but I've been feeding them live food. Daphnia, feeding them the worms. Look at that, wow. Yeah, she's gorgeous. She hangs out down the bottom. But she's so gold. Nice darker body, not so much washed out. It's part of the line. You can find them that are really nice. I wanted to show you that, see what's going on. And what else? There's not much else to say. At the time tonight I was just cutting around. I'm going to have to get busy with some actual work, getting some things done. Let's take a look at our blue tank. I love this blue tank. It's the blue light special. I have blue light on this tank, only blue light, because the catfish, they like the more docile amount. And then of course they're a perfect match because they like lower lighting. These tiger barbs are light sensitive. They don't like bright light. So they get along very well in this tank. And I think they keep everything clean. Really good. It's kind of a neat tank though. Let me see if they go out to the surface. I lift the lid. Yep, they're already kind of conditioned to getting fed. How many do I have in here? I don't even know how many. It's probably about 20 tiger barbs. A good number. And there's 10 catfish, or 11. 10 or 11 catfish. It's a neat tank. You could just stare at it for hours. So, Sandy got some fish. I know she got some new fish. Can I feed baby brine shrimp twice daily to new angels and rams, along with Dr. Bassler in between? Yeah, you can. Um, three feedings a day is plenty. It's really good, and they will grow fast on that. Add a few water change in between, and or at least during the week, and whammy, can be for partial water changes, and they will just grow like mad. Yeah. So thank you very much. We appreciate you, Sandy, and all that you do to support the channels. And this week, I didn't get a chance to show you yet how I cleaned this tank. I did it once. I would like to do it again and demonstrate. It's a 30-gallon tank that sits in the middle of the room, right? So it's kind of like planted in such a way that all the goodies and stuff are in the middle of the tank, and then the fish just go around the edges. So they got viewing. For example, if I walk over here, the cardinals are always on the opposite side. They're always running away from me. But there's some of the other fish, like the rams, come up to the front. They're looking to be fed. These guys, they want something. They're always right on top of it. I also have some threadfin rainbow males in here. These are my extra males, and they darkened up and look really nice since being put in here. And I have some Furcatus extra males too. And there's one other thing I want to do tonight. So let's get busy. I want to demonstrate, first of all, two things. What I want to do is show you how quick it is to change the water in this tank. Now, there is no piping in this tank. There's no overflow. There's no what we call siphon. There's nothing. But these little guys, these are angels, are growing fast. I think it was Greg that asked, how I keep this so clean. I don't hardly have to clean it. Just another little spot clean right here. And they keep it clean. And so they eat up everything. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to set the camera so you can see. Let me see if I can reverse it, so I can see what's going on too. Now I want to demonstrate, so I'm going to put the camera down over here without dropping it. Let's see what I can do. Now, this tank is very simple, because all I do, watch this, I'm going to just kind of open up the lid to give myself about an inch, and I want to drop the water to 1/3. Okay, I don't know if anybody's got a timer or anything, but we can just look at it. It's like, okay, it's 9:29. But I'm going to just take my special hose, specially designed for this tank. It's only one hose. I only use it on this tank. And this is it. It is a monster. This is the monster. So I'm going to just stick it in. As you can see, I'm going to go boom. It's a 1 inch. 1 inch. And I stick it in. You can see where I'm sticking it in. And I'm going to just put it right in the sink right here next to me. Here we go. 1 inch. And it's gushing out. 1 inch will drop this water in a minute. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Those rams probably were once bred here, either there or at Malik's. Either one. I think they were the older ones that you're getting now. The first ones, which probably I think came from pairs I had here and I brought over. So I don't even worry too much about the HOV filter. It's going to just stop working, but it can go. I just get, okay, I'm just almost done. I've lowered the water 1/3, and I'm done. Boom. That was a quick drop. And now I just put my 1 incher away. It's really a massive way. And I just hang it back up the next time. I use it basically for that one only. Now I like to wipe the glass because with the water dropped it makes it easier, so I get rid of these long sleeves. And I'm just going to put, it is kind of nice in here. I'm going to talk about the heating in a minute. And I just take a quick wipe down on the glass. Check out some of these spots that have some algae, resistant algae. Some of it is a little tough. And I'm just going to wipe the crud. Because this is a display tank. If you have a display tank, this is really got to look nice. And then come over here. Same thing. I don't know if there we go. That takes care of two sides. And then this side, just going to lift that up. One, two, three. And here's the trick. Done. Done wiping the sides. Probably should take a look more at the time to probably clean out the filter, but that's another story. I'll do that from time to time. Okay. So then now I'm stepping on leaves. Nice boat. Pick up my leaves. Okay. Then I'm going to need to refill back up, right? I'm going to take my seasoned water from the tank above. There's my refill tube. Turn it on. And we'll watch it fill up. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm done. Basically, because there's plants in there, I'm going to throw in a little bit of fertilizer for the plants. So, a couple of squirts of this liquid fertilizer. Okay. And okay, how are we doing on time? Let's see. So far it's been 6 minutes. And this thing is now already rerunning, it's siphoning. The water looks so cloudy, it'll clear up. By the morning it'll be crystal clear. Beautiful. And the walls will be clean and you can see it. I do sometimes scrape with a razor blade if necessary, but these fish, I don't know if you can see the baby fish there at the top, you'll notice right away when the water drops, these things don't push water through. So they definitely need it. These fish are going to be moved into a bigger tank, probably a 5 or 10 gallon, whichever I have available, so as soon as possible, because they're just at that age where they could use it. Let's see, that's any questions so far? I mean, that was so easy. I guess there was. The blacks are small. Well, they're small, all right, because as we know, they made it to your place without any problem. Shipping them made them do very well. You lost one of the GBRs. Oh, wonder why. Thank you very much for the thumbs up, everyone. You've got seven thumbs up already. But that's it. Now the water's reached the top, and I'm finished with this tank. So the total amount of time, even with refilling, looks like it's going to be 8 minutes. And that's good. Makes it quick and easy. Next thing, what we want to do is we're going to look at it's time to check out a spawning of the red lizards. The red lizards plecos. I did not catch the date in which they were, the female laid the eggs. Well, if I didn't catch the date, I don't know exactly when they're going to hatch, but it's been a week plus. For sure, because that's when I noticed the eggs. So any day they're going to hatch. I think tonight is the best time to move Dad. So let me turn off the water. Okay, that marks the official finish. I'm done with that. Lid back on. I've always wanted to show you guys how simple it is when you have the right tools, but I tell you what really makes it powerful is having the sink right here. So let me show you what we're looking at. So there's the sink. I just stick the end over here, and it just starts flooding the sink. And the tank is right here, so it's so close, makes it super convenient. Super convenient. And the fish are just kind of like running around looking at all the stuff that was stirred up. They're kind of like thinking it might be food or something. So that's the convenience part. Now, next thing is the let's take a quick look. I have bad news. Why is Dad out of the tank? Maybe I got here too late. There's Dad right there. There's no mom in the tank. What happened here? No more eggs? Looks like it. So did they come out, or they didn't hatch, or what happened? I'm not sure. Let's take a look in the tank. If there were babies that hatched before now, I would probably see some. I don't see any though. Usually I see them. I wonder what happened. Well, that spawn was kind of unusual. First of all, the female didn't lay right away. She kind of had to be in there for a couple of weeks. And then she finally did lay, and I found a bunch of them outside the cave, which was unusual. And so it was little oddities, but there is a pleco in here, and you know what? I think it's time to remove him, because there he is. There's a he may be the culprit. There's a super red pleco put in there for eating algae, but it's possible he made his way into the cave and forced his way in to eat some of those eggs. The Fricatus, they don't bother. Even when they hatch, the Fricatus don't bother the babies on the walls. they're too big to, or too much of a mess. We need to move the mop. I don't know if I can spot any eggs on the mop, but we'll move the mops. I usually don't bother to try to grab eggs. Let's see if we have any hatching up here. The mops have been going in. I haven't seen any babies yet on this tank, but we should see some soon. I haven't looked. I'm not seeing any. There we go. Get the light in the right position. You can look up and just see it's like a mirror. So when you see the babies, you'll see the mirror, the little double reflection. Nothing yet. See, for example, here's what fish look like. They look like under the mirror. There's like, yeah, I don't know. We do have another spawn of angelfish that aren't free swimming yet. It's not a huge batch, but it's a good sized batch. And at the end of the year, you're going to enjoy hearing about how many fish for the year we actually raised in aquarium.biz. It's quite a few. And some surprising data. Which fish do you think is the number one fish that produced the most money and most quantity produced at Aquarium Biz? That will be interesting. It's actually neck and neck between two fish, so it's going to come down to a really close call. So look forward to that in December, maybe at the end of the year. Near the turn of the year, we'll be able to tally up, see how well we do. And of course, it won't be for these luminatus, but it will. These luminatus certainly are doing well right now. And we have some more babies over here. They seem to grow every week. I didn't even know what they're going to look like but these guys, move that out of the way. These are starting to shape up. They start to look like rainbow fish. These big ones. And then of course the orangey ones are the young from the glow light Danios. These guys are eating away. Time to do a feeding too. And the Odessa, we have Odessa barbs looking nice. And these angels are ready to go over to the other grow out. And these guys are just continuing to grow very nicely. There's a number of, oh, that's interesting. A pair of black rams in the corner. I'm gonna have to watch this because if there's actually a pairing going on, I'll have to pull them out, give them a tank of their own. Look at that. Yeah, this will be our number one fish, I'm sure, for 2024. We're just gearing up now. We're about ready to start selling young ones from these. And these are going to be as you can see, they're doing very nice. Look at these pairs. Just haven't seen many pairs going off, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it for what's been going on. I must say, watching these guys is a blast. I love it. I love the way they swim and keep together. They shoal so nicely. They take swift water. I've got water in that power head, and then of course there's a couple of canister filters that are pouring in water, making the water aerated, because these are a river fish. They really need the oxygenated water and the current. I'm doing really nice. Well, let's see. Any questions left for us tonight? What did I do with my stand? I put it over here, didn't I? Okay. Boom. Here in the fish room. Okay. Let me move it over here. I just seem to feel more comfortable with my space being right over here. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention was I did get a new dehumidifier for the room. And the reason I got the dehumidifier is because well, you know, you should have one. You know, there is a lot of water obviously in the room, but the dehumidifier we were using was one of the bigger one, 50 pint units. It was frigid air, but it isn't that old. And so when the compressor went out last week, about a week ago, I thought, where's my receipt on that? Well, I did find it eventually. But what turns out to be the case is this particular unit had a warranty of 1 year, and it died at 1.5 years. But they're supposed to last for years, so I don't know what happened to this one. But it seems to me that most people know their equipment, and they have a tendency to put the warranty so that, yeah, it'll, you know, for sure last a year, but after that they don't know. So unfortunately, that's what happened. So we lost. I think it cost like $350. But the one I replaced it with is one from Canadian Tire. It's a Noma brand, and it's guaranteed for 2 years. And it was only $250, and it's the same size. It also has Wi-Fi capability. I can check on my phone and control it from my phone. It's amazing. So I really would never buy a Frigidaire again. In fact, I'm anxious to see how this Noma works out, but I do have a heater that I've been using for a year called from Noma, a small space heater. I like it so much that I went and bought another one. Let me show you the one I bought, the one I use. Small, but there's a lot of features to this thing. Noma. It has a low setting and a high setting. I just turned it on. It was on a timer. Keeps the room at 25 down here at the floor, which I calculated to be close to, I would say, it's going to make it so that at eye level up here, as you can see, it's 79. And so, well, what is that in 79, 80? What is that Celsius? Let me see. Boom. 26. So I have it like 25 down below, and I want it to be 26 or 7 at eye level, at this level, and no more. So this thing is it's like thermostatically controlled. As you can see, it oscillates. You can go up and down. And it also has a timer. It's two settings, a high and a low. The low is 900 watts only. And what I'm thinking is using this one to make sure the whole room stays about that 80 degrees. And then the heaters in the tanks
won't come on hardly at all. They won't need to. The room will stay very warm. That'll be comfortable for me too, but I mean, I'm kind of used to coming in here, and when it's so warm and it's cold outside, it's a nice thing. But this thing has lasted me for some time, never a problem. And it also has this feature. If you want to turn it off, you click it once, and it starts a countdown. So the countdown turns off the heat and then blows air across the heat so that it dissipates. So it's a nice safety, a nice healthy feature because it's gonna make the fan live much longer. It'll last much longer. Here's the humidifier, also a Noma. I have it turned off for the noise, but it's also controlled by Wi-Fi, so I can say, Alexa, turn on dehumidifier. Oh, just turned on. So it's an automatic turn on. It's now blowing, and it has a nice continuous feature. And it also has an auto dry. Right now it's registering about 52%. My other little meter over there is saying 49%. 49, 50% is perfect. It's not high. Fish room with lids on all the tanks, and it's not very high. I do have a few tanks that could use some better treatment on the covers, but let me change it. Alexa, change dehumidifier to auto dry. Oh, okay, then I did it. I can change the mode to, just because I can change it to auto, it just keeps it at 50. It's set like the 50, and you just keep it right there. So it's going to run, it's at 54. It'll run until it's 50, and then it will turn off, so it'll cycle. And it has also the feature, I can also run a hose from here, which at one point I probably will do. Just run a hose to make it so that it will drain to the floor drain right there. I might have to step over a hose, but it will save a lot of work in this emptying the bucket all the time. Look at that. My quarry's been doing this for the last few days. They're trying to breed. As you can see, a lot of quarry action. I made that water change and suddenly they're getting excited. But I only have like 2 or 3 in here. It's like I'm not seeing any eggs. If they do get eggs, they're probably going to get eaten up. So I'll keep my eye out. If they do lay eggs, I can watch it, grab the eggs before the other fish do. It's funny, when I had them in a big group and I had them in a tank of their own, the orange laser were just so skittish and they were always hidden. They never came out. Never saw them. Never saw them. But now, the fan. Yeah, I know. It's like you're in a windstorm. I know. Let me see. I'll just turn it off. So there you go. Sorry about that. Oh, I have 4 of them. See, there's 4 in the tank. And these guys, they seem to be very frisky. And they're gorgeous. I really like that Cory. But I've only successfully raised like 1 or 2 over the years that I've had them. Not a very good turnout. Of course, never gave them a real super duper tank of their own. Not like Mr. TM Aquatics over there. He's got the best setup for all of his fish. That is Corys and Plecos. Yeah, so that's the story with the heater and the dehumidifier. So we'll see how that works out. This winter I'd like to see if the room can be kept at 50% humidity and a good amount of nice one little 900 watt heater that will take care of the whole room, and then that will make the whole room never drop low or get too cold, and the heaters won't kick on. If you add up all the heaters, that's going to be more than 900 watts. But this way, I'll just use heaters to bump up when I want to get a little higher value. For example, if I was breeding discus, I would maybe want to get it to 84 up to 86, somewhere in there. And with the warmer water, I might need to bump it up with an actual in-tank heater. Okay, let's see what I got. Hi everyone, looks like some new people joined us. Thank you for joining us. We've got 12 people online and 12 thumbs up. It's great. Probably, my guess, modern dehumidifiers don't last like they did in the past. All modern appliances are engineered with too tight of an efficiency tolerance that reduces the longevity of a byproduct. Yeah, and yeah, that's what I've noticed too. And like I said, they make it last, and they know it'll last a year, and that's it. Yeah, it's a funny thing because then the products, designed to what was going to be the maximum amount of yield. So I kind of calculate into the cost. If this is $250 and it's going to last me only 2 years, then that's $125 a year to do the humidifier plus the energy cost. So it's just part of the cost of having the fish room, I guess. Skull Aquatics, welcome. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. Is that? Okay, let me see. Still waiting. Craig's Catfish Cave jumped in, and I'm still waiting for Scheller Aquatics. I hope to see Steve come on one day. I know he's super busy, but great to have him when I can. I wanted to mention something about, I had a video prepared to send out, and I was watching it tonight, but honestly, after watching it, I didn't like it. It was my video, and I'm the one that did it. Remember the occasion we did the live stream, and I did the shipping tips, and I talked about the water and everything. But in the end, when we extracted that information and tried to put it in a video, I was kind of disappointed because I wasn't really, prepared. I was just kind of rambling on, and maybe that's the way my live streams are, a little rambling. But I felt a little discouraged because I said, that's not really the way I want the video to come out, so I might have to redo it. But I know the points, and I can just kind of go through it real quick. So that's why I keep thinking or talking about, oh yeah, I've got a video coming out, but then it never comes out. Well, sometimes in the editing process, it doesn't work out very well. And that's the reason why. It just didn't meet my professional level of expertise kind of standards. So I'm going to redo it. But I know what to say, and I can redo it and say the same thing in half the time. You just have to be prepared, get it all out, say it, and then film it, and then maybe we can publish it. There's also a couple other videos. By the way, I've shot a lot of footage, and there are some videos that I think I just got to dig out of the archives a little bit, because frankly, I don't know what happened. I started a little project, I started making videos, and then I forget. It's a lot of work to publish them and to edit them, set them up, and then put it out there. So that's why it got kind of put on the back burner, and it's time. I really need to dig it out and get it out there. Sandy, you're too kind. Rambling is human. Yeah, I know, because it's funny when you're talking to a computer screen and you're talking to people that I don't hear interaction. It'd be great if and we will have. There is something else for the 2024 I really want to open up and experiment out a little bit, and that is
doing a podcast. And so I want to do some podcasts in 2024. I've already lined up a few people that I will do the podcast with. So it's going to be not just me rambling, definitely not, because that would bore everyone. But you know what? I think it's going to be something I think everyone will enjoy because it's going to be more of a series of interviews. And it's called, and if I might say so right now, I'll be happy to share with you what the podcast will be. I'm going out on a limb here because, what if it never happens? Well, I think it will happen. We're gonna give it a try, and we'll see what kind of support it has. But it's called Ordinary Fish Keepers. That's the name of it. Ordinary Fish Keepers. I remember people would probably remember or would call Ordinary People. That's a title of a a book. But Ordinary Fish Keepers really explains a lot because fish keepers are a special breed of people, and I think it's kind of interesting when people like that, shall we say, when people enjoy listening to how other people do some things and they get tips and points that really help out. And yet, it's not just me, it's everybody. If I were to interview, say, Sandy Diamond right now, yeah, Sandy, you've got things to share, and there's no doubt opportunities to share points with other people, and other people would enjoy hearing your experience and your story. And I think that's why it's sort of a play on words. It's like ordinary fish keepers. I mean, is there any such thing as an ordinary fish keeper? I think every fish keeper is extraordinary. And that's why I think it's a good title. But we'll get it started and get it going, and we'll try it out in the weeks to come. So we're almost going to be finished with November before you know it, and by the time January comes around, poof, we're going to start that program, and it will be something in addition to the regularly scheduled items. So we'll see how that pans out. I don't know what thoughts you had on that. Does anyone that's on right now, of the 16 people who are connected, does anybody, I'd just like to take a survey. How many of you actually listen to podcasts? I do all the time. When I go to work, I'm always listening to podcasts. Okay, School Aquatics is a yes. Podcasts. And I listen to the Aquarium Guys podcast from day one. Sandy doesn't. She doesn't know about podcasts. Robert Lucas, yes. Okay, so we have two to one. I do, so that's 3 to 1, really. Sandy Diamond, okay. You're always listening. And audiobooks, Yeah, okay. So you're playing it, the live streams you missed, yeah. I do that too, like Dan's Fish. Every Wednesday, I might pick up when I have nothing, I have some long drive and I want to listen to it. Sandy Dowdy doesn't know how, but don't you worry about that, because you will certainly be helped to know where it is and how to find it. Actually, YouTube is changing things. YouTube is constantly migrating into a new world. They're evolving with the people. So Google, for example, who owns YouTube through their own, it's like a separate entity. YouTube is like a separate company, but it's actually under the Google umbrella. And as you know, it's separate, but it's also part of that family, right? So they're going to eliminate Google Podcasts, which I always listen to, and I don't know how, but they're actually not eliminating it. They're actually moving it and sliding it over, and it's going to become part of YouTube Podcasts. So, I have to think about that. It's like
I never think of going to YouTube for my podcast, but it's going to become under there. So it's just going to be like one other category. You've got, you got your live streams, you've got your videos, and you've got your podcasts, and you've got your commentaries that are, community tab. And, all this is just, YouTube is kind of like branching out, and it's going to, but they got the YouTube music. So I think that's where it comes from, because it'll probably be under YouTube Music. The podcast will be with, if you have YouTube podcasts. Now, I am a YouTube. What's the term when you pay the money for the extras so you don't get the commercials? I'm that person. I really enjoyed it, and I can do it for the whole family. So I pay the price, and whatever it was, $25, something like that, a year. And premium, thank you, Craig's Catfish. So I got the premium. I don't watch commercials, and I love YouTube because of that. And I think that the commercials, it would kill me, watching commercials. So that, yeah. So you do it too, and it's worth every cent. I know, and so I feel the same way. And everybody in my family, up to a certain number of Gmail accounts can be added to the family plan and under the one price. So my wife has it, and yeah. So I mean, YouTube, if you just don't want to spend any money, okay, fine, you can watch the ads and everything. But I like the non-ad YouTube. I think it's good. So that's my little rant on what's coming in the future. And of course, as we always talk about the end of the year, everybody always likes and always enjoys making plans for the new year. So that's our plans here at FishEZ, and we're going to have a lot of interesting people in Ordinary Fish Keepers. So we're going to start setting that up very soon, and start recording so that the episodes will come out and you'll be able to enjoy them. Something to listen to. And it won't just be me. So that's the greatest thing. You won't have to listen to me. You have to listen to individuals who would like to share their ordinary fish keeping experience. It's been great having you. It's been almost nearly an hour. It's all that time I have tonight. I've got to get a couple of things done here in the fish room. I'm going to clean out a few tanks. There was a question on the black rams. Somebody asked, how old before they start breeding. I did see that question, and I'm expecting my moderators to tell me what questions I didn't answer. That's one of them. I didn't answer that. Frankly, the German blue rams will start breeding at around under 6 months of age. They will start to pair off even at a small size and start laying their first batches in the corner of your tank, and they are going to be maybe even 5 months old. So the black rams, however, and the electric blue rams, those are fish that are a lot more inbred, a lot more sophisticated, shall we say. They've got a lot more, they're slower growers, even not just from the standpoint of the slow grow in the first few days of their life, but overall their maturity level, it takes a lot longer. I would say closer to 8 months before the ones you're looking at right now. I showed you in the tank, they're not quite breeding full scale, but they are breeding some, but they're not at their peak, and yet they are probably pushing closer to I want to say a year old. I gotta look back at my records for those fish. I know exactly what when they were born. They're the 2LB2 tank. Their mom just died recently, which we kind of don't know why. It was kind of a sad thing because she was such a good producer. But the dad is still going strong. He's got a batch of babies right now. The 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 age is definitely over that time. Okay, so here's a question. Breeding temps for black rams. I did not see that one. Now, the breeding temps, I have found in my experience, if you look back to the couple of, I think it was the first few live streams I ever did were on German blue rams, breeding them. And they hit upon a lot of subjects, but one of the things I found was that, yeah, they can breed at 84, 85. They will breed at the higher temperatures. They seem to maintain the higher temperatures, but also I found that they breed at 80 and even as low as 79, very successfully. The difference being that the fungus that might grow on the eggs, I noticed at the higher temperatures seems to get out of hand. Once it starts at 80 degrees, it's sort of like one rate, but then when it's 84, it skyrockets, and the shall we say fungus just grows out of hand, and it spreads quickly. So you have to be very careful about that. So of course, if you're using some hydrogen peroxide, a couple drops, like I think we were using about 7 drops per gallon, just drops. 7 drops of 3% per gallon is enough to keep the fungus at bay. So if you do have the higher temperatures, they seem to develop faster, of course, and that means they hatch right on time, or maybe even a number of hours earlier. But I don't recommend the higher temperatures. It makes for, I think it reduces the life expectancy of rams. So that's why I think 80 degrees is better. Now, what is 80 degrees? 27 in Celsius? 27 is 81, so 26. So 26 Celsius for anybody who wants to know what that is. So my recommendation is 26 or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I would stick and try to be constant with that. It gives more life to your rams and also prevents the fungus from getting out of hand. So I hope I answered that question. We've got black rams, I don't think are any different. I think they're all the same. Blue rams, 76, wow. But the survival rate was extremely low. Yeah, I didn't recommend 76. It's a little cool for rams. I think all the books, they all recommend about 80. So that's why rams are typically the best temperature for them is keeping them at about 80. I hope that answers your question. Is there any more questions? Great. So I gave you the little heads up on a few things tonight, so it's really kind of you. I have noticed some very interesting things. I just want to share not just the success stories, but one of the things that has been very difficult is the maintaining the smaller Daphnia, the Moina or Moina Daphnia. I've had some real tough. Some of the little jars I have of the Moina are very good, and some are really bad. They die out very quickly. And so when they need fresh water and maybe some green water, like I have here, this green water, and when I do that, I have noticed that they don't do well after I do a water change. So I've been thinking about it, and the methodology I use. I usually drain the water down.
I take the what's left in this bottom half inch. There's plenty of Daphne in there, and I just fill it up with the new water. And I think that the shock of changing the water so drastically all of a sudden, I think that kills them off. Because in the next day or two, it's all green, but I can't see much, but it doesn't seem to be the same number that were there before. So that's my theory, and I'm going to try something different. I'm going to say, let's go with that theory and say, let's test it out. So I have 3 jars right now with the Moina Daphnia. I'll point those out to you. They're right over there by the light. So these 3 right here, 1, 2, and 3. These 3 on the right. That's Magna over on the left, but there's the 3 on the right. And I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when it's time to feed them, I'm going to try dripping the water back in. So I can do that by, as you can readily see, I can just put one of these jars with green water, or the exact amount that fills one of these, and I can just drip it with the airline hose back into there, and I'll just let it slowly go back up. Drip, 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 drip until it goes up. And I'm going to try that and see if that doesn't have less of an issue. It won't shock the fish. So there's always adjustments to be made. I'm always looking for the key. What is it, the trick? And then one day I'll be able to do a complete video on why, and why you do this or why you do that. So Jeff, you just started a fresh Monia culture, or Moina. Now, what are you using green water, or are you using the other method by feeding them with yeast? I'm curious. I'd like to know what you're using for feeding the culture. Hi, Jeff Pelhams. We're just wrapping it up tonight. Just joined us. You're using green water too. Okay. Well then, good. So we can compare notes. I'd like to know how you change the water when the green water starts to clear up, or do you? Or how do you go about it? It would be really nice to know. Maybe I can take less water out, only change half of it at the time, and see, because when they get once, because I'm finding that when there can be very successful in the jar, or they could be very difficult in the jar and just die out even after a complete water change. And I think, based on my experience, I think that's the problem. I think that the problem is definitely they're a little sensitive to sudden change, and I think I'm giving them too much of a sudden change. So I'm going to try giving them a very light. I'm going to do only half at a time, half maybe more often. Even if I have to rig up some little system and then drip the food in there, I could always do that if need be, you know. So we'll see. But thank you very much for your feedback, and whatever you find, I would appreciate it, Jeff, to hear about your results, and send me a I don't. Okay, Jeff doesn't change the water, just top offs. Okay, top offs. Well, they'll get rid of the green water. They'll go through this green water because it's such a small jar. If I had a bigger jar, and they did very well, they grew very fast in the 20-gallon below me. But as you can see, my Moina somehow got infiltrated with what appears to be a much bigger Daphne. I don't know, it was a net of mine. I got one in there, but after a while, my Moina disappeared and my Magna appeared.
So now I've actually got a complete Magna culture, which is fine. I will use it. My fish love it. But while I'm here, I'm just going to show you these guys. These guys are Golite Danios are neat. Of all the Danios, I think these are the best. They're like little salmons. They've got some incredible color to them. Yellow and red, and they're moving a lot, but if I had a cleaner tank, you might be able to see them better. Look at that. Whoa, that's a male. Looking good. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, so I've lost a couple. They jump out. You gotta make sure you have a lid, good tight lid. But I've also added some of the progeny. So my colony here is still up in numbers, close to 20. So they're doing very well. The only unfortunate thing is I need to do some cleaning and get my egg collection machine back and running. Right now it's offline, so maybe I'll do that tonight. All right, guys, I gotta get to cleaning, see what I can do. It was a pleasure talking to everyone tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this live feed, being able to answer some questions. Yeah, and if you do have a question and you're on the replay, please ask it down below, because I actually respond to all posts, all comments, and I will give you a reply. Dave's Fish Cave. Warm water hatcheries use soybean meal as the fertilizer for phyto. Okay. Soybean meal. I just use the bottle with the squirt. You know, to me, I don't have that big now. Oh, now you're joining us, Chris, and now you're seeing the mascara barbs. Wow. Well, you haven't seen anything. Wait till these guys start growing and looking nice. I will conclude just for Chris. Here we go. I'm going to show you, as we came into the video, we're going to take a look at the mascaras once more. They're looking good. Got a lot of neat little red colors on them. They show tremendously. Now they're waiting for food. They kind of get into the water direction and they're just waiting. They're looking up because they know. Watch, when I just take my hand, put it here in the water, they just come right up. Where is, oh, look at this. Do your Aurelius barbs do this, Mr. Stubbs? Yeah, they want to check out they want to get petted. These are going to be awesome. I'm so glad I got the number I did. There's 16 in here. That's a minimum number I was going to get. I would have bought more, but there was some uncertainty as to how I was going to get them from Wyoming all the way up here. But I managed to finagle away. Nothing cheap, but man, definitely worth it. All right, guys, thank you so much. And again, as I said, how hard is it to breed the mascara barbs? Well, let me tell you this, Jeff Pelhams. We will do it here. We will do it here at FishEZ. And I know I can do it because I used to breed filament barbs out of my mind. I was just never had a problem with those. They were very easy. It's important just to get the right setup. And by the time these are starting to mature, this tank will be in a complete breeding setup mode, and you will enjoy watching how we can get some nice mascara barbs for all of Canada. And that's the goal. We want to make this fish available. If these are indeed the Apsara, the Kinsia apsaras, and if they are as beautiful as they hope to be, we will have some beautiful mascaras for everyone to enjoy. Thank you, Sandy, and thank you all for joining. This is it, signing off. We are, as you know, live from FishEZ
And that will do it for another week. And hopefully we'll see you next week. And keep, of course, as always, take care of your fish, but always keep it real.